Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you enjoy all things true crime and you like it delivered in a calm, rational manner and not all the drama, then I suggest you subscribe. And after watching and listening to this video, if you find you enjoyed it or learned something, please consider a membership here or on Patreon. You can also help the channel by smashing that like button. As they say, like, share, subscribe. And now, without further ado, let's get started. On March 25th, Homeland Security agents stormed Sean Diddy Combs' lavish estates in Los Angeles and Miami. The agents were there as part of a federal investigation. They tore their way through the mansion's offices and bedrooms, leaving safes wide open, drawers pulled out and ransacked, cables dangling from the walls. It was utter mayhem. Poor little Diddy was later spotted alone with a cell phone in his hand as he walked back and forth around the Miami Opa Loca airport. He was about to head out on a vacation to the Bahamas. Unfortunately for him, the raid led to the cancellation of the vacay. No conch salad for Diddy. There was trouble in paradise. Back at his sprawling estates, his adult sons were handcuffed. The previously impenetrable fortress surrounding Diddy's empire was beginning to crumble. No matter how many incriminating videos Combs had stockpiled as potential weapons of blackmail, he could no longer keep the law at bay. Karma is a biatch. As the raids went down, P. Diddy's famous friends, who'd previously rushed to his defense, remained silent. Diddy's vast wealth, his high-powered lawyers, and his hulking security guards could no longer insulate him. People who'd been too terrified to talk in the past, including employees of his bad boy record label, were finally willing to speak out about their experiences with Combs. What they described is a Jekyll and Hyde type of character, a complicated man. They painted him as extremely driven, someone who could be very generous, someone who was sometimes silly, but there were other people who painted a darker portrait. Former friends, employees, bad boy artists allege that Combs behind the scenes is a very scary man. The kind you don't want to call out for fear he might just blow up your car, possibly with you in it. We're talking a major gangster here, like a real-life mafia type. And the only reason people are talking about him now and sharing their truth is because he's behind bars. Last Monday, Sean Diddy Combs was finally arrested and charged with multiple crimes, including sex trafficking and racketeering. And in the wake of his arrest, some celebrities who spent time with him in the past are doing things like wiping their profiles on X, formerly Twitter, clean, and focusing on their families instead of speaking out about Combs. Usher deleted tweets after Diddy's arrest. Justin Bieber, a longtime friend and collaborator with Combs, is staying silent, focusing instead on his new baby son, Jack Blues. What a cute name, I like that. He's also looking scary thin. Methinks he might have gotten a hold of a little Ozempic. Everyone in Hollywood is a toothpick these days. Nobody wants to be associated with Diddy at this point. He's basically radioactive. Perhaps they're afraid of getting arrested themselves for, I don't know, maybe participating in some of Combs' notorious freak-offs. As the name implies, these were multi-day parties where male escorts were flown in to interact with females who were allegedly given some medication to make them compliant and then subjected to hours and hours and hours of what I call SA. Sean Combs is currently in jail without bond for fear he might flee the country and or try to intimidate witnesses. P. Diddy has long been one of Hollywood's dirty little secrets, but as I said earlier, many people were too afraid to speak out. According to some people in the know, Sean Combs has a proclivity for younger people, younger boys, for example, allegedly, and apparently he would try to help artists launch their careers, people like Usher and Justin Bieber. Some of the only people brave enough to call Combs out are Eminem and 50 Cent. Eminem even released a song recently with lyrics that seem to allude to Combs' heinous crimes. Now, in the past, when people would accuse Combs of heinous behavior, their accusations would suddenly disappear, and that's because Combs was allegedly quietly paying them off. Combs' arrest is now stirring up lingering questions over the sudden death in 2018 of his longtime girlfriend and mother to 4 of his children, Kim Porter. Porter's death at age 47 caused shock because up until that time, she'd been a healthy woman. It was November 15th of 2018 when Porter passed away after suffering flu-like symptoms for several days. A coroner ultimately declared that Kim had died as a result of lumbar pneumonia. Kim and Diddy had one of those on-again, off-again type of relationships. They became a couple in 1994, and they split once and for all in 2017. During this time together, they had a son, Christian King Combs, who's now 26, as well as twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie, who are now 17. And my heart does go out to these kids. Can you imagine? They lost their mother, and now their father is behind bars. Diddy's bad boy behavior, understatement, was evident when Kim found out while she was having her twin daughters that Sean was expecting a baby with another woman. Yeah, that's never going to be a good situation. Now, since Kim Porter's sudden and mysterious death, theories have swirled about Combs' possible involvement in it. In April of 2024, these wild theories began to intensify, especially after allegations by Donald Trump Jr., who has claimed that Kim was afraid of Diddy. Don Jr.'s views on this subject apparently come from his ex-wife, Vanessa Trump, who was good friends with Porter. Donald Trump's mini-me rightly pointed out that people don't typically die of pneumonia at age 47. The theories reached a fever pitch when a book about Kim and Sean's relationship was released mere days before Diddy was arrested. The book allegedly contains Kim Porter's diary entries about her time with Diddy, but her family is saying those are not her entries. And the man who lists his name on the book says he can't prove that they are her diary entries. This 60-page book is on Amazon, and I think it's selling, at least yesterday, it was selling for around $22. Again, only 60 pages. In this book, it says that Diddy first used DV on Kim Porter when she refused to use, shall we say, a strap-on gadget on him. The rumors are that Diddy is someone who enjoys the companionship of young boys, allegedly. Actually, it sounds like he likes both men and women. But again, that info comes from a book that hasn't been proven to be Kim Porter's diary, so take it with a grain of salt. Now, this new book also described Diddy as a, quote, terrifying monster, end quote. And Kim Porter allegedly wrote that after Diddy threatened her with a weapon in her own apartment. The book also says that Kim and Sean had an open relationship, which allowed Kim to spend time with Tupac Shakur. This inflammatory book also claims that Sean Combs videotaped himself getting, shall we say, jiggy with young boys he was managing, and that he had underage girls attending his notorious freak-offs. The final entry of Kim's diary was made when she was suffering flu-like symptoms. Kim texted her friends, quote, "He got me," end quote. And by he, she meant Sean Combs. After that entry, Kim Porter died. I'm going to end it there for today. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in this case against Sean Diddy Combs. If so, I am happy to cover it for you. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories.